First and foremost is zoning. Is the property zoned for the use that you're looking for? And is there demand and demand drivers for that use? And you could be 20, 30, 50 miles outside of a major urban core if there's sufficient documentation and evidence that that demographic and population is going to grow and become a bedroom community of the major demographic, hence the Baltimore, Maryland surrounding areas, DC surrounding areas. You can be 30, 50 miles outside of DC and still be red hot. Atlanta, your major city center. So first thing you look at is proximity. You look at zoning, and then you look at the environment around the zoning. So even though it's zoned, is it a pro-development environment? And what's your opposition to development going to be? Because development is a very highly opposed thing in a lot of areas. People don't like progress. They don't like development. They don't like land getting disturbed, right? So you got to understand those rules. So once you understand all that, and it looks like, okay, well, we're zoned and we can do what we want to do and it's going to work and the numbers work. I put together a real quick financial feasibility to make sure that the numbers overall are going to work. And you just start with the end value, whether it's a apartment complex, you're going to have an income. You use your operating assumptions, you get a net operating income. It's going to be worth X. It's going to cost X to build it and they're asking X for the land. So is that going to work? So that's a quick financial feasibility. If it's a for sale product, same thing. What's it going to be worth at the end of the day? Then you reverse your numbers. What does it cost me to build it? What's my margin? What is the land cost? What's the development cost? And then is it going to work? So you start with those things first. And if all that looks good, then you go to the next level. The next level is, what is the topography of the land? What does it look like? Is there any environmental concerns? Are there any utility encroachments, railroad track? What does the access look like? What are the utilities serving the property? What's it going to take to get it there? So you kind of start looking at those things, and that's just phone calls and information and understanding where to look to find out what that all is about, what it entails, what it's going to cost to rectify any of those situations if there are issues. And then once you have that, then you move to your LOI stage. For me as a developer, I never buy land until I get all my entitlements, improvements, and permits, and I tie the purchase price to that. So if I'm looking at a parcel and I can get 500 units, then I'm going to tie my purchase price to being able to get the approvals, contract, closing, and purchase price to being able to get the approvals for 500 units. And if it comes in lower than that, we're going to adjust the purchase price down to that. And I don't close until I get all of my permits all the way down to the building permit to build that project. Then I close on the land. So I tie land up for almost nothing in a lot of cases for the initial first 45 to 60 days of feasibility. And once I decide I'm moving forward, I'll put up an earnest money deposit, and then that's it until we get all our approvals, and then we close. And that could be a year, it could be 2 years. It just depends on the market. Some areas it could be 3 or 4 years. Just depends on what it is you're doing.